Welcome back to Mind the Microsoft Gap. I'm Nick Thomas.
And I'm Chris Threlfall. Today we're discussing, we're diving into a topic that's everywhere from your inbox to your boardroom: artificial intelligence.
It is the buzzword of the decade, I think, but also the breakthrough that's genuinely changing how we work, how we think, how we innovate from Copilot in Microsoft 365 to tools like ChatGPT that most people have heard of. It's here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going anywhere.
No. um, so, shall we start with a bit of reality check
Mm.
that AI isn't brand new? We've we've all heard of or probably seen the film back in the day. People have been talking about it for decades, and it's been around for decades. But I think what's so new is how we use it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say, yeah, we've all seen Short Circuit. That was the birth of AI, as far as I'm concerned. Um,
Johnny Five.
yeah, potentially a film that hasn't aged very well. But anyway,
Probably not.
So yeah, for years, mostly what's being talked about is predictive AI, so systems that analyze data and make forecasts or recommendations. So you feed them like a database or a ton of information about the past, and they predict what's likely going to happen in the future. So, some kind of everyday examples of that is going to be like sales forecasting, customer churn models, spam filters, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's all about spotting patterns in existing data that a human necessarily wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like I suppose predictive AI is like a data analyst on steroids.
Yeah.
um, and 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 now we've entered the era of generative AI. That's what's so huge at the moment. So that's the shift between um, predictive AI and generative AI, isn't it? So instead of looking at old data and predicting things like you were just talking about, we're
Mm.
now able to generate things using AI. And that might be images or video, as we're now seeing now with Sora and this
Yeah.
crazy new kind of TikTok app that you can just type in whatever you want after you've uploaded a scan of your face and
Hmm.
generate videos. You can produce code. I think both of us, you'll agree there that both of us quite often use different AI tools to check code and help us troubleshooting with code, and even designing reports or presentations and decks.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's literally all done from text, isn't it? From a prompt.
Yeah, exactly. Or from a conversation. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's really what tools like ChatGPT and Copilot and Claude and things like that really come in. They make it feel a lot more human and accessible. So you don't need to be a data scientist anymore
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a specific tool that you're using to comb through databases and all this kind of stuff. You're just being conversational with it, and that's definitely opened the doors for a much wider audience to use these tools and get things out of it. And then you can kind of tell at the moment there's a bit of a big kind of stretch going on about people trying to find what they want to use it for and what it's good to use it for and what's acceptable to use it for. So it's
Yeah.
still very much in that discovery kind of phase of a product, I think.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Um, it's there's a bit of a breakthrough, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think as you just touched on then the accessibility now that people pretty much anyone that's got access to tech can can access AI, and all the big vendors are giving you free AI. So it's probably not free, but
Free. Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
say
In
free.
quotations, free. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Copilot from Microsoft that's integrated into M365, but we'll come on to that in a minute. And then, yeah, as you just said, Claude, ChatGPT, Google have got Gemini out now, and they're all kind of, I find they're all kind of better for different things, aren't they? And they keep trying to
Mhm.
outdo each other. And
Yeah.
there are lots others, I've just mentioned a handful there, but um, yeah. But in in short, predictive AI told us what might happen, whereas generative AI can make or help us make something happen.
Mhm.
And and that, as you said, conversational AI is the bridge that brings it to everyone now, and that accessibility.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And when you kind of touch there on about like free AI and stuff like that, and yeah, I think it's understanding that all of that comes to you without a monetary charge at the cost of your data, and
Yeah,
adding kind of
yeah,
in, like you kind of said about the Sora app, right? As soon as you give them your face,
yeah,
it's like, oh, you can use our app now for free, but they have a scan of your face. So it's
yeah,
worth kind of, making a mental note of that is what you're paying, you know, that's what you're paying with. But in terms of like monetary value, that's where people like Microsoft come in and say, right, this is a fantastic tool. You feed it all the data in the world and it's going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. But if you're doing that into a free model, you don't have any way of controlling where that data goes, who's got access to it, where it's going to be used. So you put in those safe rails and they say, right, here's a licensed enterprise version where you're safeguarded against this data being out into the public. You can keep it within the barriers of your environment, all that kind of stuff. And I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah, yeah,
others do something similar as well. Microsoft being in that world already just made the jump first. I think, I don't know,
yeah,
citation
yeah, yeah,
needed there, but definitely largest at the moment. Kind of doing that corporate enterprise kind of thing.
yeah, definitely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
Um,
move on, shall we?
yeah, yeah. So now we've unpacked kind of what AI actually is, from predictive to generative and everything in between. I suppose kind of what we started talking about there was, what does it mean for business?
Yeah, um, yeah, that is a good question. I think it's it's one thing to understand how AI works, and but it's another to see how it's transforming the way organizations actually operate. So it's, as we've said, it's everywhere, um,
Mm.
and it's automating tasks, it's generating insights, it's it's improving customer experiences, which is brilliant. Like all those things are great, and
Mm.
it's making people rethink what productivity looks like.
Yeah, and Microsoft's right in the middle of that shift. So, from Copilot in Microsoft 365 to AI powered security tools in Azure, it's not about replacing those people, it's about amplifying them and, you know, adding to what they can do in their
Yeah,
everyday roles and what their possibilities are. Because, yeah, they might not have a specific skill to do a certain thing that AI can do, that they can incorporate into it and not have to, feed that out into a third party or look for a SaaS
yeah,
app, because that's
yeah,
what it was before. There's a SaaS app that can
yeah,
do that, and now it's, oh,
yeah,
AI could
yeah,
probably actually kind of do that. So it's going to have an interesting impact in the SaaS app space,
yeah,
I think, especially looking at
yeah,
what some of this vibe coding can output now. Like entire websites and apps and solutions. Which is something I've been digging into a little bit recently. And while it's not easy, it's far from easy. Like all these people saying, "Oh, you can just tell it to build an app and it's there." I'm like, well, no, you can tell it to build an app and it will build an app, but it'll be an extremely to the point version of what you've asked it to do if you're lucky, and you still have
yes,
to
yeah,
understand what you want it to do and how to ask it to get there is the tricky bit now.
Yes, yeah. Prompting is
It's becoming an art. It's becoming
it's
a dark art.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It really is. Yeah, and I'm sure my brother won't mind me saying this. He called me the other day, and he's trying to build a new website for his business,
Mm.
and he said, I got ChatGPT to build me a website the other day, and it did
Yeah.
it, and it did what I
Yeah.
wanted, and I was like, well, it will, but you know, and um, he is not technical at all, like really, really not technical. Phones me up
Hmm.
for quite basic techie things. He's a hands-on guy. He's a doer. He's not not techie thing, and not techie person. And he's managed to do that,
Hmm.
or managed to use a tool and prompt it to do that,
Hmm.
which just shows how far it has come in the past couple of
It's
years.
if people have the inclination to look into it. I mean,
Yeah,
if it's someone that was going to Google it in the past and get a bit lost an hour or two in, being like, it's over my head, I'm not really sure what's going on, but maybe another day. If you've got that level of inclination, you can get weeks, months, years further
yeah,
down in the in the scheme of things by just having a conversation with it, and it will get you there.
yeah.
So you'll be there with
It's
an end product pretty much by the
yeah,
point you go, well, I don't know how it built it, but I know what it does.
yeah, and then you can go away and give that to somebody who does actually know what they're doing. But he could go and say to a website developer now or designer, can you help me with this and actually produce this
Mm,
on a platform that's safe, secure, stable, can be updated, and it's
exactly.
not written in just a bit of PHP or whatever. It's like a we keep saying this internally, don't we? But it's basically a personal assistant, a technical personal assistant that is there 24/7 for you,
Yeah.
and you can leave it running 24/7. Um,
Yeah, and
and
it's
and to do tasks for you that you don't have the time for, or you're repeating daily or several times a day.
exactly. Yeah, I find it really helpful because now we're a bit more inclined to at least take transcript recordings of everything because we're largely a digital company and we do everything online. All of our meetings and projects are all discussed through Teams. Meetings are done through Teams, and if we're transcripting everything, like before, maybe not. There's not much of a point because you would then have to comb through an entire transcript and pull out
Yeah,
notes from
yeah,
it. Not really helpful. It's easier to take notes while you're in the moment and be like, oh, this is
yeah.
actually important because I know what I'm talking about. I know what the project's
And
about. I've got
notes,
context.
yeah,
Yes,
notes you
exactly.
actually need that are relevant to you, not everything.
Yeah, and going to the next level of that, obviously Copilot can summarize meetings now, which is something I never want to go back to not having
Yeah,
because that's
yeah,
great. But even that is only helpful to a certain extent because it does produce very comprehensive notes, which is fantastic. They're not going to be tailored to that particular person, so everyone might view them slightly differently. Some people might be like, oh, I love like how structured it all is and how in depth it all is, and it's captured absolutely everything. Some people be like, only 30% of this is relevant to me. I didn't need to know all of this. I'm struggling to read through it all. So that's where like the next level of it comes down, and you can be like, right, me now, AI assistant. What am I going to find useful from this? Or you can ask a question retrospectively and be like, oh, over the last 6 meetings we've had, was this discussed? What was the outcome of this? And it will be like, oh, yeah, I've just been through the last 6 hours of meetings you've had. It was discussed here, and this was the
yeah,
outcome.
yeah,
And
yeah.
as someone with poor memory, that's very helpful. If I'm like, did we meet yesterday? I can't remember. Yes, you had 7 meetings yesterday. Ah, right. Okay, I'm back on board now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not. I think there's a big fear out there, isn't there, that
Mm,
AI is going to take your job, and that might well happen for specific jobs. There are roles. There's lots of reports coming out at the moment, aren't there? Like the top 10, you'll see top 10 jobs that are going to be taken by AI,
mm,
which might be translation, um, as an example. But I think you have to get more into the mindset that it's not about replacing people. It's about giving time back.
Mm.
So, like you just said, instead of trawling through a transcript or and summarizing a meeting to send out to a client in a client report, you can save hours doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of a week or a month, the amount of time that you would sit there, pulling out the key points or going back through your notes.
Yeah.
Did you actually? Did I mistype that? Or so, and actually just generating new reports as well for things that we might not have done before. It gives
Mm-hmm.
you a really, you can either, I suppose, it can either give you a good set of starting blocks, give you a base that you can then tweak, or you can put together something and input that in and see what it thinks, do some analysis of my report. And then you can
Mm-hmm.
focus on the strategy and the human element of this
Mm-hmm.
instead of thinking, oh, what do I need to get into here? Or what does it look like? What are the headers I should have? So, so yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So you touched on just now about kind of safety or challenges. Should we move on to? I think it would be good to talk about challenges and ethical considerations.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So AI is doing incredible things, but it's not without its challenges. So, there's some bias, data quality issues, trust. So those are like the big ones. So if your data's flawed, the results will be as well. So the stuff that you're putting into AI as well, it's only as good as its source material, right?
Yep.
And usually the larger the source material scope is, the better information you're kind of going to get. But I think one of the examples of this, what was it? I saw it pop up yesterday, and this is quite a good example of it actually. It was trying to, I think they fixed it now, but it was trying to convince an AI agent, I can't remember what it was, that there's a seahorse emoji.
Okay.
And it's adamant that it exists. And you say, oh, brilliant, show it to me. And it can't. And it just gets stuck in this loop of being like, here's the
Yeah.
seahorse emoji. And it's like an angelfish. And it's like, oh, wait, actually, that's not a seahorse. Oh, okay, let me try again.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you sure there is one? Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. It's like this AI hallucination of,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what one person suggested was it's because there's all these people with like the Mandela effect on Reddit saying that it definitely exists, and it's included all of that when it
Ah,
scraped its data. So it's like, right, I'll just check my
that's
data again.
interesting.
Oh yeah, all these Reddit users in this subreddit called the Mandela effect are saying it exists.
Oh, jeez.
So it's that kind of understanding that it's not infallible, and it is making these decisions based on its data set and algorithms. So it's going to come to these
Yeah,
these kind of things. So
that's
especially
really
in,
interesting.
yeah, like in your corporate
Huh.
environment, when you're feeding it the data that's going in, you can kind of train it to be, a
Yes.
certain way and look for certain things, and be it for good or for bad.
Yes. Yeah. 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 And that all comes down to control, doesn't it? As
Mhm.
always, your data should be, or you should control uh, what your data contains. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, that age old statement of the data you get out is only as good as the data you put in.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um, just thinking of but like policies and principles. So,
Hmm.
um, every organization should have an AI policy now. There are ISO, uh, what are they called? Can't think of it. Like the ISO security
Yeah,
accreditations or whatever you actually refer to them as. There's
so yeah.
AI ones now that you should maybe look at if you're using AI. There are just internal policies that you should have and your staff should know about. Microsoft have a set of principles and pillars for AI because
Hmm.
as we've spoken about, they're so heavily invested in this and they're plowing billions into it, and pushing Copilot. So I've got them listed because I can't remember them. um, so we've got fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, transparency, accountability, and inclusiveness. Um, and I think they're they're great. You know, um, it should be reliable. It should be safe.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to put things you don't really want to know the answer to, or have it
Yeah.
agree to things. Ethical decisions that I don't
There's got
think
to be
it.
some
I don't know.
guardrails there.
It's maybe. Yeah, there definitely
Mm.
does. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Like same as, I mean, arguments are always raging about it, but in the same way, you literally can't just post anything on social media. You're going to go against their terms of, service and all that kind of stuff. Similar thing for
exactly.
AI, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing research using an AI tool, you want to know where that data's come from.
Mm-hmm.
You want references to that data.
That was a
You know,
big
you
thing, like
yeah,
early on as well, wasn't it? Where it was kind of like, well, where are you getting this data from? I need to know.
yeah,
Like, oh,
yeah,
it's just from my data source. Yeah, but where did that go? Like, at
yeah,
least I suppose with Copilot at the moment as well, you can be like, give us references, search the internet, all that kind of stuff. So that has
yeah,
been a
yeah,
helpful
yeah.
development.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of shows your workings, its
Hmm.
workings now, but then hides them, but you can see what's going on
Yeah.
in the background.
Hmm.
So that's a big a big we could go on for hours talking about that. So I I fear we'll go down a deep rabbit hole if we do get into it. And
Yeah.
there's lots of personal opinions around that as well, isn't there? So
Yeah, for sure.
probably one to is definitely something to mention. Yeah, as always, security, security, security.
Yep.
Um, and it kind of brings up a good. Um, I won't talk about it too much, but it brings up quite a good test of your internal security posture in Microsoft
Mm.
365 if you're using Copilot. If I can search for what is everyone's salary in a business,
Mm.
and it returns a spreadsheet with or a database with this information in, I could have got that myself. It's not going to go away and find that and tell me if I don't have permissions to that data.
Yeah.
So it's probably kind of opening up some holes in businesses, but at the same time helping
Well,
the tech teams secure it down.
it's exposing them, isn't it? It's
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's the
it
right word.
actually gives a bit of a tool to do some pen testing yourself and see like you know what can I access if I've only got these roles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I think that comes into um, businesses trying to figure out where AI sits for them. You know, and I think that's been a problem since it came in, and I think businesses are starting to adopt it now and kind of get used to it as just another tool in their arsenal. But yeah, maybe we could talk about that for a little bit, and we could go through kind of what we offer to help businesses get a start at
yeah,
deciding
yeah,
what to
yeah,
do.
yeah. Let's talk about the do some promotion. Let's do some promotion. So, um, so we have several different generative AI sprint series that we are running. They are so we have a sprint one, which is a completely free 75-minute session
Mhm.
and that's run globally in 3 different time zones. So US, UK, and APAC, Australia. And yeah, it's completely free. It's a kind of uh, foundational session to kind of get your get your employees, whoever it is, anyone can join. We can have several people. The more the merrier. We want everyone on
Mhm.
there. It's a kind of flash course, as our colleague Leaf said. We will feed you with a fire hose
Mhm.
of what you can do in AI in 75 minutes. And this is not just promoting Microsoft. This is using lots of free tools out there just to show what you can do. I don't want to kind of give too much away because we want people to join
Yeah,
and
it's not
experience it. But
it's not something we can really put across in just a conversation. It's definitely a visual. There's a huge visual aspect to it,
yeah,
where the person running it will take you through, like, and actually do some of these things and show them live. And
yeah,
I think it's extremely useful for anyone really that is just kind of curious about it. Maybe they're feeling like the AI wave has just passed them a little bit, and it feels quite a big deal to catch up, or you're not quite sure where to start on
yeah,
catching up with it all. This is just a kind of 100-mile view from above, saying, right, let's zoom in on a couple of different bits that might actually be valuable to you, rather
yeah.
than generating images of cats and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's
Which
a
I'm
bit
sure you
more,
will see in
yeah,
the presentation. But
that is one of them. Yeah, but
it's not
yeah,
and it's not dry, is it? It's
no.
really fun. It's really engaging.
Hmm.
The feedback we've had so far is incredible. I think we've had
It's got to be
something like
hundreds of people,
3,500 people
even
so
more.
far have joined over,
Yeah.
globally. And yeah, the feedback's amazing. So
Mm.
highly recommend anyone, even if you're worried about AI, join this. It's an hour and 15. It's brilliant. There's no sales pitch. It's just great.
Mhm.
We want to get people engaged in AI and not have the fear of using it, and just kind of learn about it.
It's
So
always interesting to hear
that's
the new questions as well, right? Like covering the
yeah,
basics that you hear every time, and then every now and again, someone's going to have something you've never considered before or heard before from a very specific part of the business world,
yeah,
or
yeah,
education world, or wherever you may be. So it's a two
yes,
way kind of thing for sure.
yeah, and it's very interactive. We run demos. We ask people, what kind of industry are you in? Are you in finance or sales? And let's do
Mhm.
a live demo and show you how you can use tools to improve your productivity, save
Mhm.
time. Um, so that's sprint one. Sprint two is then a paid engagement. So it runs for 4 weeks. Um, and that's to, AI is foundation. A sprint one is foundation. Sprint two is then kind of moving into, you know, this AI mastery for immediate impact. So moving beyond theory and actually moving into more advanced strategies, real world applications, automation and actually getting measurable results out.
Mhm.
And then we finally have the agentic AI sprint. So that's a 10-week paid engagement. And that's us working with you to kind of launch, get this right, launch your software and your product in 10 weeks without a tech team. So
Wow.
it's a guided,
Yeah.
it's a guided no code service, which you come to us with an idea and we'll help you turn that idea into a live market ready product. And
Mm.
there's no developers, there's no guesswork. We will work this and get this done with you. So that's top level.
Yeah. I think
But people, it's happening. So people have these fantastic ideas that they've wanted to do now, but the time, effort, and we all know effort and time is money, that
yeah.
has been astronomical. So this is the time to get those products launched.
Yeah, this would give you a really good platform in which to kind of launch that, because obviously having a framework around how you do it as well is as key, and having someone to kind of to help you through that journey of, yeah, okay, I can ask AI to do it. Oh, AI will do it for me. Is, you know, you can
Yeah.
say that, and then in practice it could be slightly different. How do you manage that? How do you make sure it's doing the
Yeah.
right thing? How do you think about the stuff you've not necessarily thought of? So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
having that
Yeah.
entry level, you know, immediate impact within 4 weeks, and then a 10-week product launch, that's a kind of, there's a level there for every kind of need,
Yeah.
for an AI
Exactly.
kind of like a route into AI. So yeah, depending
Yeah.
on the level of the person and or organization, yeah, you can just learn a bit more about it with no strings attached, or you can be
Yeah.
like, right, okay, that sounds great. Let's dig in and get some of this working for us as well. So yeah, no, that's I think it's really good
100%.
information. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of
And
rolls on a little
go
bit
on.
to one of the tools that was demonstrated during, I believe, the sprint one, if I remember rightly, is Mia,
Yeah, it is.
which
Yeah. Yeah.
is. Did you want to cover a little bit about that, or would you like me to?
Yeah. So it's um, Mia, which is my intelligent assistant. It's an assistant agent that we've been, I say we as a business have been developing, and is currently kind of testing. It's not publicly available yet. Um, it's a tool that you and I both use for creating prompts,
Mhm.
essentially. And we share these, don't we, throughout the business. We have pools of prompts that for things that we do, maybe not every day, but maybe every day, maybe every week, and
Yeah.
we can use Mia to put prompts into tools such as Copilot or ChatGPT and give us great outcomes.
Hmm.
I think you mentioned the other day you built one for kind of summarizing a statement of work.
I did. Yeah, um, that's been incredibly helpful. Um, so normally you would just kind of type into Copilot, oh, we've had these meetings, this customer, this is where the scope of work document is. I want to know X, Y, and Z. I'm thinking, I'm typing this in every time.
Yeah,
Like, this
yeah,
is
yeah,
automation on automation. So having this
yeah,
prompt available where it says, right, I'm going to provide you with a scope of work document. My role is a consultant. My normal responsibilities are X, Y, and Z. I know the because our scope of work documents are set to a standard, so I know
yeah,
what a lot of it's going to contain already. So I don't need to read. I can say if there's been any changes in these standards, let me know. Obviously,
yeah,
I would know beforehand, but just in case, as a kind of catch. But then you can be like, right, focus on the differences of information, the usual stuff that we pull out for like migration projects, for example. We should have like a high level view of how many users, how many files, how much data, that kind of stuff is what I'm looking for. That's going to be moved, or what environments do we need to build for them, etc.
yeah.
So then we can get a really quick kind of even visual overlay of this project before it kicks off. And yeah, with Mia, I've got it. So I've got this prompt ready to go in there. And when I go to copy it, it says, oh, paste in a link to your scope of work. So it's
So it
usable across
actually
the
gives
business.
you. It's got
Yeah.
variables in there that will prompt you for the blanks, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So you can
Yeah,
put several of these variables in there. So you can share them without having to hard code in, a link and go
yeah,
in and delete it and paste it in. It's just paste the link in here, paste the output or whatever else you want in here, copy, put it into
yeah.
Copilot.
It's
Copilot
never.
does the rest.
It's never going to be outdated. Well,
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
because it's
shouldn't be.
conversational.
No.
Yeah, it's. I want this to happen, and if you want what
Yeah,
happens to change, you just change the language, and it
Yeah.
changes. So
Nice.
having that repository there as well, and like you're saying, it can be private to me, so it's only something I want to do with my calendar or whatever, or whatever prompts they may be, or we can publish it to the team and be like, here's a really good prompt that I've been using to do X, Y, and Z. I think you should use it as well. And then you can kind of build a bit of a prompt forest, or whatever
Yeah.
word you want to use to describe as a group of prompts. I'm not sure. And it becomes really helpful because, like you said, like if you're doing it every day, it's really helpful. But sometimes it's even more helpful if you're only doing it once a month, because you forget, or once every 6 months, or
Yep.
you're like, how did I do that again? I've got a prompt for
Yeah.
it. Fantastic.
Yeah, and there's so many use cases for it, aren't there? But and yeah, as you said, we touch on that in our free AI sprint one as well. So
I should
I'll
also
show
mention
you.
that it does the prompt generation. So you would type in what you want the prompt to be, and it will then generate a more in-depth and not streamlined. What's the best word to describe it?
A well-structured prompt to give you what you
well
actually
engineered.
want
Yeah.
out of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like,
Yeah.
I see you were asking for this. Maybe actually ask this instead, and it will give you a much bigger and more comprehensive. And it will put guardrails in place and all this kind of stuff, and then you can paste that in there. So you've got the original prompt. I think it's called might be a different tool I'm thinking of. I'm gonna have to load it up and check now, aren't I? Is it like Magic Prompt or something like that? Bear with me, caller. Some live troubleshooting going on here.
You are right. You can input what you want it to do, or what you think you want out, what you think you want the prompt to be, and it will generate a prompt for you that you can then input into Copilot or whichever AI tool.
It's called Mia Assisted Prompt Creation. Okay. I think it's another tool that I was thinking. It's the same kind of thing. It does that.
Yeah. Awesome. Right, we better wrap up. It's I mean, AI is a very appropriate topic right now, isn't it? It's everywhere. So I'm sure what we've been talking about will be out of date next week, or some of it will be. So if you're wondering where to start with AI in your own organization, that's exactly why we run these sprints, and why we run this free one. We want to help teams explore ideas and test opportunities. And if you want to move on and go on to the sprint 2, and we want to build that roadmap and make it make sense for you. So thank you for tuning in to Mind the Microsoft Gap, and thank you, Chris.
Oh, thank you. What you can do is you can sign up for this sprint series for free from our website, and you can also put your name down on the waiting list for the Mia agent as well.
Yes.
2 things you can do for no money today, right now.
Exactly. Yep. And make your life easier. Free up some time. Yeah. So as we all know, everyone is busy. So yes. Don't forget to follow the podcast, share it with your team, and join us next time.
Thank you.
I don't know what exciting topic we've got in store, but we shall see you there.
See you next time.
Thank you.